Here's to a century of growing together and knowing the next will be even better.
Hello Canada, good morning from Vejle. This is Benoit Roth. I will have the great privilege to be your host this week. 22 Wheelchair Rugby World Championships. It's already day 2, but Canada didn't opening ceremony, and in a few minutes, in about a minute 45 seconds, Canada will play match of the championships against a very strong team, the Australian team. And 5 games in a round robin. They will play in the pool B, actually with the host nation. I'm just taking my sheets here. Tomorrow Canada will face a double against Japan, the world team, ranked number 1 in the world. They will also play in the evening tomorrow. On Thursday, another double. Canada will face Brazil and the later on in the day to hopefully qualify for the quarterfinals, which will happen. And Canada finished 7th at the last World Championships. They were 5th. They're having an outstanding beginning of the season. They won the Quad Nations 3 weeks ago in Wales. They Cups behind Japan in June, and so far they want to get back to the top of the podium in 2018 at the last World Championships. So we will go court in about 20 seconds. On va aller au cours central pour voir le match contre le Canada. Ils joueront leur premier match et espérons qu'ils verront un bon match. Jusqu'à présent, c'est de porter leurs 3 dernières victoires contre les Australiens. Alors, let's go to the court to see the first between each quarter with a few comments and hopefully a few athletes later on. See you again soon. Have a great match.
Four 8-minute periods.
Canada 3522.5 line. We've got more ball handlers, but
Always a battle whether you go for the high-low, which is what the Australians have gone for, or that we're seeing from Canada.
minutes set up on the clock. Both of these guys can get up on one wheel as they go up after this ball. So it could be hotly contested.
And come on, referee, let's get it underway. They've all been waiting. Maybe they're waiting for a few Australians watching on the stream around the world to get around 1:45 in the morning on the east coast of Australia. In Canada, if I've worked late morning, so
it's almost 10 a.m. in Detroit.
There we go. So it's going to be 10 a.m. in the Canada. And finally we get underway, and there was a huge tip, and it's Riley Batt who gets it on.
Bond already getting a lot of pressure there. Gets across half.
See the shot clock in the corner there saying 26 seconds to keep an eye on, 40 seconds in which to score. Batt goes back and over into his own backcourt, because that's a violation.
They're working a play. Got the try, first one of the game, right?
Riley Batt opens the scoring.
Now with the inbound. We'll get the try from the pass there from Adele.
Canada makes than Australia did, but the result is the same. Australians coming back and force it. to Riley Batt, who then pins back his ears. Zach giving him close attention, but Batt's going to cruise in. He bounces the ball, as you have to do once every 10 seconds. I know most of you will be aficionados and know all the rules off by heart, but for the first time, A, welcome, and B, we're here to run through the rules for you every so often.
Adele calling for it.
And then it's wheel to wheel. Crispon trying to get possession of the ball, but there was nothing he could do. That was Zach Medell, a man from Alberta, 28 years old, MVP of the Quad Nations tournament held recently in Cardiff. And that was won by Canada.
Beat Great Britain in overtime.
Bondi on the board. Crispon, 36 years old, he's the captain. It was Riley Batt for many a year.
Australia dropping into the key early. It's an interesting call.
Medell hounded there by Ben Fawcett.
He's trying to draw the defense to one side or the other to create some space, and finally got a hole created on the right side.
Quick inbound by Mick Ozan. A teammate of Zach Medell. And of course Chris Bond usually. Back to Bond. Highway to Hell being played to encourage the Australians, a bit of AC/DC. Kadaka, as they are known down under. What Canadian? Tragically hit. Celine Dion.
As long as it's not Celine Dion.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Brian
Adams.
Right?
How
about Rush?
There we go, yeah.
So that was tough. Canada having trouble to get across half court. They can't do that all game or they're going to be in trouble.
Taking their first timeout.
More depth than Australia as far as being able to make substitutions and keep people fresh. Hoping to rely on that as their bonus to be able to finish this thing off right there.
Popped over the top very nicely. Caldwell, 33-year-old from Peterborough.
Fired in there from Bond. Back is right back.
So frustrating when you the timeout and then you build up a play, you get in and score a point, and then the opposition just inbound it straight. Later, it's as you were. And there we go. And then Canada go anything you.
What's happening next, Nostradamus? That was well called.
Nothing to choose between the two teams as there's a little bit of back and forth. Mick Ozan involved and then firing it over the top.
Not a turnover yet.
Well, it's almost, I like to use sporting analogies because I know a lot of people will be multi-sports off air, and it's almost like tennis where you've got to hold service. It's almost like a tiebreaker in first to lose their service. So a turnover or not scoring on your own service and make it 6 apiece. Travis Moran.
I'm sure we'll find out soon. Although I've seen very, very few turnovers. And in a game like that, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Riley Batt. Showing all of his experience. 33 years old, and yet he made his debut at the Paras in 2000. He was 318 times he'd played for Australia coming into this tournament, so that's today's as Cody Caldwell gets himself another try, and it's still Nip and tuck.
Bond forced to him. Around, look at that. Oh, right over the top again. They've got that down, don't they?
When you know that, because quite often, if you've just got the one really good high point back deep to help out,
right,
and then they can't just propel the ball forward because they're not up there to race onto a pass.
There's
like
a
that.
chemistry there too that you develop working with the guy long enough. You know what to expect, move and where he's going to be, and clearly they have that. They've been playing together for a long time.
Gozan keeping a good eye there on Medel.
Like Morale scored that one.
We've only had the one stoppage in play, the one timeout. It's been a very quick fire.
Canada ready to make some substitutions. Looks like Australia might be as well. Hirschfield and Whitehead sitting in the sub for Canada, and Edmondson for Australia. So it looks like both teams are going to make moves to try and counter the other.
Wilson and Andrew Edmondson. Edmo who did almost a turnover there. Edmo who did the athlete's pledge today. How about that, getting out of trouble amazingly. Riley Batteney goes as if it's the most natural thing in the world. I suppose it is for someone who's been playing at the highest level for 2 decades now. So yes, if Australia are bringing on Edmondson and Nicholson, so obviously one of the main two, either Bat.
He got there.
He got there. The two of them are there, Bat and Bond. Medel scooting. Zan trying to keep him honest. Shot clock still.
Canada tries.
They are, aren't they? Yes.
But they're getting them.
But they're getting them. Yes, exactly.
We'll see if that takes its toll.
10 apiece. 3 minutes to go.
These subs are just going to sit here unless someone calls timeout.
Exactly, yes. It's not when a or a dead ball, it's when the coaches call it.
There's a ball out of bounds, they'll do it, but it can't happen on a goal.
Yeah.
Or a try, sorry.
Oh, picked beautifully by Bond, who then does an excellent bit of blocking. They're probably both coaches, Patrick Coté and Brad Dudley, probably thinking, so they'd be loath to use a timeout. And so the substitutes are on the sidelines, waiting patiently, and I say patiently.
Probably.
Yeah, you're a player, Dave, so you'll know how impatient you can be.
Feel like you can make a difference and you want the opportunity.
Yes, you always sub off early and then you're ready to sub back on, and the person you're meant to be subbing on for's caught, and spin around from Bond, 10 seconds, and then finds Riley Bat perfectly, who has a look at the time, and this is time management is going to come into play.
Yeah, it's really important to try and get the first and the quarter. That's 8 points up for grabs, right? So
exactly. If you put it that way, that's a huge margin. Yeah.
The possession arrow, but I am pretty sure Canada started with the ball, so that means that Australia will start with it. So if they get the last one, they got the chance at the first one as well.
Two very, very closely matched teams. it could be these fine margins, as you say, 8 points like that. Of course, you've got to score them. You're not actually given those points, but you get the opportunity. I say you've got to score them, but when you've got Bond and Bats, then you're more likely to score them. So again, the time management, it's a little bit like
around 55 seconds. Every team has their own number, but around 55 means that even if the other team uses 40 seconds available to go back
on this
again,
15
right?
to get up there and score.
Plenty of time for every one of these teams.
Well, in the NFL, I'm above. Even 13 seconds is enough to turn a game.
I know that that's true, but it's usually from the other side.
There we go. Happy Thanksgiving. You always get.
It's a great tradition. I go to the game as often as I can.
Excellent.
My mom's not particularly. I always go to dinner afterward.
There we go. Good obedient son. 48 seconds to go. It's Bond on the ball.
Seconds differential on the shot clock.
Are they going to defend? 41.1 seconds. That's how they're going to defend. Ooh.
Oh, going out of bounds. That was a great play. That's really tough to catch that ball and the mindset. I'm sure he was thinking about it. Oh, I got to call timeout. But you have to have control of the ball, and you have to be that. And that's the first turnover of this game.
And it comes with 40 seconds pressure of the clock. Australia using one of their timeouts. 4, and they've used 1 each in this first quarter.
Now the only pressure is to try and leave as little time on the clock as possible. But they have to score the try. See people trying to waste time, and then they don't get the goal.
Exactly. The B to score the point.
15 seconds is where people start attacking when they're in this. Bond in a perfect position there.
There we go, beautifully by the captain, Chris Bond. Canada now with 6.7 seconds to score. It's that as well, so it was the first point against service, the first break in
and
service.
6.7 is play.
This was Zach
Vejle, although against Australia, it's going to be a little bit
tough. And they couldn't quite get there, so how about that? It was absolutely nip and tuck for 7 of the Australia, just applying that little bit of pressure. Bond getting the turnover and the perfectly called that Australia leading this Commonwealth battle 15-13 at the end of.
And that's really our difference, right? It's that one turnover and scoring it, getting high. So that's why they're 2. So, Canada can't be disappointed with how they played. They had 1 turnover, right? If they were to do 1 turnover per quarter, it's more bad game, 4 turnovers.
You'll sign up for that when you're playing the likes of Australia any day of the week.
And then I can't say that this has happened, but it's pretty unusual to think that they wouldn't have. Some will come, some mistakes will happen.
As
together and knowing the next 100 can be even better.
Always tough games against Australia. 15 Australian team after the first quarter. Alors, c'est toujours des matchs très serrés entre le Canada et l'Australie. Le premier quart, l'avantage du terrain à l'équipe australienne, 15-13, mais il reste encore 3 quarts, donc 24. So still 24 minutes to go. It's a tough game, but overall they have the confidence. They have lots of. They did play really well against Australia at Canada Cup and in the actually early tournament for these World Championships. Canada was playing really well against Australia. So let's hope being breaking and they will focus on now playing their strategy and with the ball against Australian team. It's very important this first match to set the stone of the tournament. Yes, tomorrow we'll have another big one against Japan, and after that Australia and Japan, I think it will be good for qualifying for the quarterfinal. Let's go back to the court. There's 5 seconds left and the midpoint of the game. On va être de retour après à la mi-match. À bientôt.
Right? I mean, if we just went based on what we think the results would be, then why are we here?
We wouldn't be here.
Go play Pokemon.
Exactly.
So yeah, Australia got the first one. Canada will start with this one. Team 13. Okay.
Yes.
1 turnover. The math is good. The rugby. I've really enjoyed my time here in Vejle. It's been. It's a great little town. You know, it's a little cool. I'm okay with that. People have been wonderful.
They love sport here and they love parasport. They love it in general and they love it here in Vejle. Yesterday we had patroness of parasport in Denmark for the opening ceremony, which was wonderful. She did indeed. And saw Denmark win.
Very happy crowd, for sure.
A boisterous crowd.
I expect we'll see more plays again tonight at 6.
They do.
We'll see some people in the stands for sure.
Denmark playing in red, Canada playing in red, and they get the opening point. Second quarter now. We do indeed have Josh Nicholson, 2-pointer from Brisbane, plays for the Queen, who's going to inbound, and he inbounds it to Andrew Edmondson, his club level in Queensland to New South Wales, and the one high pointer that is the one you'd expect them to leave on, and that is Riley Batt.
There and tried to take a punch at that ball because he knew he wasn't going to stop the share of bat. Wasn't able. Tucked in there really well. Oh, see White. That one off the head of Fawcett.
Manel boxed in. Gets it to the aforementioned Mike Whitehead, 46 years old. From Windsor on, almost a neighbor of yours, Dave.
He has a house in Florida, is that what I understand? And he plays in the U.S. on a team called Northeast Passage. They're in Vermont, close to Boston.
Canada keeping things close, 16-15. Trevor Hirschfield on the sidelines at the moment, the co-captain.
Let that one happen to get Hirschfield back on the floor. Wanted to say pitch. we haven't quite aligned ourselves with the rugby. Good sound right there as he crossed the line. They said he didn't cross the line. I only hear the sound of the chairs, but I thought for sure he was across the line. He did not. It's to turn over. Close. Oh, only one wheel went in. So out and in.
So
at best
of a turnover.
If he crossed. Great defense right there.
Never giving up. Edmondson feeds in the ball. And he spins left and right. Zach Medell to get past me. The ball back to bat. 14 seconds, as you can see on your screens, in the shot clock on the right. And this is going to be another turnover. Who can pick the bones out of that one?
It bounced off the front of Whitehead's chair, and the referee was right there. They were fighting for it, though.
So let's see this. Left, right, left, right.
The referee's leg.
Exactly, but the referee, well, the referee's legs were there because the referee was perfect to see exactly what was going on.
That's what we want from them, right? Place at the right time so they can make the right call. Very frustrating when he calls a reach. And it's like, how could you possibly have seen that?
Changes from Australia. Shay Graham has come on, 2.5-pointer. And one of 3 women in the 12-strong squad for Australia. But Australia allowed 8.5 when one of the women fought, so female players worth their weight in gold.
I'm really happy many female players playing in this tournament. I mean, the fact that there are 3 crazy at this level, right? Because we didn't see this level of opportunity why they have the point reduction, but there are female players on probably
13 female players in total. None for Canada, but as we have a quick look at Riley Batt having the wheels taken from under him.
Though Canada did have the Paralympic player in Beijing. Schmutz.
There we go.
Rodriguez there.
It's in there. And it says, Riley, you can take over from here.
Whitehead and Rodriguez worked on him hard trying to stop that, but Riley not easy to stop. Although neither is.
Exactly, there was a bit of a wheel race there, and you could see a little bit of a signal from Riley Batt saying, okay, you've inbound from Graham, librarian up in Darwin. And yet she plays for the Victoria Thunder, so that's at the opposite end of the country there.
It's got to be hard to get to practice that way.
Exactly, yes.
Not like it's a small continent.
No, it's...
I mean, small for a continent maybe, but not for a country. One of the reasons we wanted to go into Liechtenstein because it was just so small.
The Swiss Army still service, so my son's going to have to do national service in a few years' time because I have a Swiss passport. And the Swiss Army actually accidentally invades Liechtenstein about once every 5 years when they're just on practice maneuvers. They part of the forest they're walking through and have to apologize profusely.
That's amazing.
Yes. Out there by Zach Medell. But the ball will go back the way of the Australians. Fired up there. Bat, but batted away by Zach Medell.
Hops right over the picker.
And there we go, the New South Wales connection between Riley Batts and Andrew Edmondson. 32 years old is Edmo, who has the Australian Order of Merit. First wheelchair rugby. Australia winning gold in 2016.
That was a great final. I don't know if you got to see it, but went to overtime. Yeah. That was the most competitive rugby we'd ever seen.
Down in Rio, where the Brazilians first really got onto the wheelchair rugby stage, but yes, it was Australia versus USA there. Great Britain versus USA last year in Tokyo. About time USA won one again.
That way.
Medell blocking coming in there from Trevor Hirschfield.
Just waited for that one to develop. So really excellent patience there, just waiting for his opportunity, getting his picker into place to divide the key and take that corner.
Australia have gone back to the two high pointers. So you can see Chris Bond, who's just done the signal to say, I need an equipment change. Riley Batts still out there.
Coach Dave Wilsey over there trying to get a hold of Medell. Music and the
Big bang and crash. In action for Australia. She's a 0.5 player from Bathurst.
Jake Howe joined her out there too.
And Jake Howe.
Oh, another interception.
An interception. There it was picked off and immediately returned for a score, and well, you wait for two and then 2 or 3 come along at one. Wow.
Yeah, Canada needs to stop the bleeding and call a timeout.
In the space of a couple of seconds there, the match has suddenly got away from them. It was 19-21, and then those 2 immediate turnovers. Poor inbound or a great interception from Bond, or a bit of both?
I lean toward a bit of both. Pass probably needs to be better. And Hirschfield could have moved closer, give himself. As you do that, of course, the defense is going to adjust to you, so you don't know what's going to happen.
It always looks worse in slow motion as well, when you know what's going to happen in the ball.
Right. Why didn't...
And you know it's going to be picked off because it's a replay. DJ has decided that Canada needs a little bit of encouragement, so pumping out the music here. Around, reverses home.
Fired in. I can't believe Bat caught that one. It looked like it might have bounced off the chair.
Sheer speed from Bond.
Scoring quickly. They're already thinking about the clock and how they get the last try of this second quarter. You know, this science isn't as sound when you're 3.5 minutes out, but already starting to think about how much time they have left and how long it takes each team to get it across that try line.
Well, it's quite a wheel race there between Medell, Bond and Batt, and who had his nose in front all the way through it. Bond has a quick look. You could do that.
At some Bulls Day at Worlds, and they're going to have who's the fastest running down. Fastest running through this course, or who can make the most accurate passes, you know, out of. Be exciting, right? They do in basketball.
Is this the NHL fan? Oh, I was thinking the NHL.
Either.
They do the
right,
yeah. Who's the fastest? Yeah.
We're not far from something like that. It would be really interesting to see.
Year's time, when we have the next World Championships. Yes, let's have a skills day.
Has the for that?
Not yet. Not yet.
I know we've got Paris. I think is the next Paralympics after Paris.
That's right. Riley Bat goes left and right, and then 5-point margin after those two vital turnovers. Vital in the heart of Canada, and it's made all the difference in what's a very tight match. All up until the last minute of the first quarter.
So you see them working on Bonds. I can't think of the technical term, that thing that holds the axle there. That happened to him in the earlier game where it was a problem and they just put the wheel back on. The wrench there trying to tighten it up so it doesn't move anymore. Anything that moves on the chair can break. The only things that move on the chair are the wheels, right? You can't take it apart, you can't fold it. For the repair people to have to go to work.
Yes, there are some huge backrooms come here with all 12 teams. And we're a mere 2 minutes or 10-minute half-time break, so there probably will be a fair bit of running repairs. He's from Perth, so over in Western Australia, and Western Australia, an independent state. We had a laugh down in Australia. It became the People's Democratic Republic of West. Hard border with the rest of Australia during the pandemic, so very tough for Jake to get to. So he ended up playing with Victoria. South Welshman barges his way through.
He's going to be the call. They're going to call that a penalty try. Travis Morrow just unable to even stop the assault of Riley Bat.
Medell boxed in. Who's he going to launch this one forward to, or is he going to go on his own?
It's 3-on-2. He's going to take that one home.
Bit of time management. You see him looking. See how long there is to go. You can see at the top of your screen, the middle, 15 seconds on the shot clock.
Got two players working up here at half court. Emily Miller battling it out. Rodriguez now in the play, though. They'll get there first is the question. Oh, and the spin. He's okay. Yeah, he's nodding his head. Okay. He got. And the defender was not going for the ball at all.
Jake Howe, yes, got in there. So a crucial play there for Canada.
Australia short-handed after the turnover, so able to build a little momentum here is Canada.
The 5-point deficit, you'd expect it to come back to 3 now. So that is absolutely, as far as Canada is concerned. It will wipe out the couple of turnovers that we had midway through this second quarter. Look at the clock.
He's also thinking about how long the player is going to be in that penalty box.
Here comes Jake Howe. And we're into the final minutes of the first half. Australia with currently with possession. Canada know they're going to get at least one bite of the cherry. They're going to have to make it count. the shot clock. Riley Batt taking his time.
Getting some pressure, but Bond right now. Canada has 3 ball handlers out there as opposed to the 2. I think they feel like that's a stronger position for them in this situation.
Now, timeout's going to be called.
Yep.
It was indeed Riley Batt allowed the clock to go down to barely a second to go and then called a timeout, which means that the shot clock goes back to 15. Screens there. And they will try to use all 15 seconds to score a point, keep Canada from getting the ball at the end. So will they manage to pull it by their own petard? They've got to score, of course.
No. Says yes, one says no. So the answer is no. Canada will take over. 2.3 seconds left. I think they'd be best to just stop and let it happen. Potential there. We've seen too many quick interception scores.
Exactly, but that is a lot better than Canada. They were 5 points adrift about a minute and a half ago, and they've put it. Australia couldn't quite use the timeout to the best effect that they would have wanted to. Lead 28-25 going into this 10-minute break. So just about managing to keep in touch with Australia there.
The turnover battle is kind of turning over a little bit, right? Canada now has 4, Australia has 2. Think about is the possession arrow should be in favor of Australia, right? Yeah. So that's clearly to their advantage. That's a great replay. I wish we could see just a little bit lower to see where his line, but
both wheels over the line was Edmo. Riley Batt.
Oh, so it's 28-25 game, half point for this first game for Team Canada. Not necessarily against Australia in this first game. You can tell how much pressure they put on the Canadian team. It's been quite of a challenge and quite a ride for the Australian team since the Tokyo Paralympics. In Tokyo, after winning back-to-back Paralympics in London in 2012 and in Rio in 2016. Admired the star of the Australian team, Riley Batt, having a great. It's number 10, of course. He's the Michael Jordan of the Australian team. Is many years, and he's still on top after, of course, not being on the podium last year. Fourth, and the Canadian team was fifth. But so far, they're having a great game, and Team Canada will have to have 15 minutes if they want to win that first game. Alors, c'est un début de match un peu plus difficile pour l'équipe canadienne. C'est 20. On sait que l'équipe australienne sont une très grande force. Ils ont bien sûr remporté Londres en 2012 et à Rio en 2016. Avaient terminé 4e à Tokyo l'été dernier. 5e. Alors, ils essaient de se repositionner, mais font encore une fois partie des meilleures nations. 16 minutes de jeu à ce premier match du tournoi de qualification pour ces championnats du monde. Et minimiser l'écart, donc réduire le pointage ou du moins avoir 2 ou 3, c'est pas 4 revenus, avoir un meilleur pointage que l'équipe australienne. So let's go, we have another 6 minutes. We have like to show you. I will go back on the court to do some social media and try to bring those We'll also be back after the third quarter to say a few comments and hopefully a few athletes mix zone with a few comments after this first game of the round robin tournament at the 2022 World Championships, part of the Paralympic Super Series. We will be back in a few minutes.
Here's to a century of growing together and knowing the next 100 can be even.
Flat, I think. Okay.
Don't just go. Let's get some work on that.
I just catch him with my elbows every time because I know it's coming. I'm not clearing out, I'm pushing. So I push.
That's bold. Bold call.
He's on me!
Tony! I'm calling you over. Turn back, crack. Let's go.
So there's about 4 minutes to go before the start of the second of this game. I went back and looked at the different statistics between Canada and Australia. This year in 2022, Canada have won all their games against Australia. Of course, there's stress. It's the World Championships. It's the main key event outside of the Paralympics. Well, and yes, it's the round robin. Yes, it's the qualification. But Canada, it's a little bit of tension. And on the opposite end, maybe Australia is they're peaking at the right time, at the right moment. That's maybe what's happening with Australia. They're really focusing their energy on it's actually working. It's only the first half. Let's see what's going to happen in the second half. But so far, is having the advantage of the field. Alors, j'ai observé les différentes statistiques depuis et effectivement, l'équipe canadienne a remporté tous ses matchs contre l'équipe australienne. Donc, à la Coupe Canada, bien sûr, et c'était une domination complète en 65-58 pour l'équipe canadienne. Préparatoire à ces championnats du monde, il y a quelques semaines, l'équipe australienne avait été défaite à 2 canadienne et l'année dernière également aux Jeux paralympiques. Alors, c'est peut-être le stress, c'est peut-être également l'équipe australienne qui vit les meilleurs moments de la lorsqu'on dit d'avoir de bons résultats, de piquer au bon moment, c'est exactement ce que l'équipe australienne est en train de faire. Bravo. Mais il reste encore 16 minutes de jeu à ce premier match à l'équipe australienne et à a little bit of statistics also. The Canadian team came 6th at the last Wheelchair Rugby World Championships are every 4 years. The even year Paralympics, of course, so 2022. The next one will be only in 2026. So it tells you how important these worlds are for each of the countries. There's 12 nations here. Canada is one of them. There's America is in the Pool A, and Pool B is Canada, the host nation also, Denmark, and of course, Canada needs to finish in the top 4 of the 6 of Pool B to hopefully the quarterfinal. The gold medal team, so the World Championship team, will get their tickets, will earn a place right away for the Paris Paralympics in 2. This is a first stepping stone to get to the Paralympics, but the gold medal team will get to the Paralympics. 1 minute left for the little break in between both point, and we will be back on court for the third quarter. Alors c'est on est à quelques secondes avant le début du troisième quart. Le Canada l'arrière par 3 points, 28-25 contre l'Australie. Et j'ai observé les différentes statistiques. A terminé deuxième lors des derniers championnats du monde en 2018. L'équipe canadienne avait terminé 6. Les championnats du monde, c'est un événement très important car les mondiaux seulement. Et l'équipe championne du monde, donc l'équipe qui remportera la médaille d'or ici au Danemark cette semaine, reçoit se présenter aux prochains Jeux paralympiques à Paris. Let's go back to the court to see the third quarter.
Check it to make sure that it wasn't loose again.
Riley back. 120th appearance for Australia.
Nice job using his chair to keep Bond away from him.
That's spins around, finds himself a little bit of room and knows that if he casts it forward, pointer ready to pick it up. Bond has a look around and he knows the only person who could possibly catch him, and he is locked up in the back court, taking care of. So a 4-point lead for Australia. Canada have kept it very close, but they need to get it closer still, sooner rather than later. Lovely little handoff. Down.
Little bounce pass through traffic to Morale. Interesting tactic by Australia to drop into the key like that. Usually they're down. And Caldwell will spend some time in the penalty box. Make for the ball.
It's the number 9 who's wheeling his way over to the sin bin. And reaching for the ball and actually got the man. So it's 4-on-3, either Australia score. And you thought that Australia would have scored before that minute is out.
But if the point of their dropping in the key is to waste time, slow the game, will not be in a hurry to score this either.
Exactly, as we can see, Riley Batt. The end of the second quarter. This time he's have to make sure that he scores, and has been boxed in. You can see there by Mick Ozan, Ben Fawcett.
Has a man advantage as well.
Back to the 4-point advantage. Cody Caldwell can come out of the bin. Inbound this.
Adele screened off Bat.
Bash there. Excellent pass forward. Wonderful passing from the Canadians. Yeah. Though, because Bat has got Medell in his sights. Well, 15 on the shot clock.
On 3 there was to Canada's advantage to see Australia. Canadian low pointers seemed like it wasn't going to help them out. 3-on-3 in the key seems like there's a through. But Medell went back and helped Rodriguez get away from the pick. Ozan.
Sheer speed from
A little bit of hips.
Look at that. Going wheel to wheel with Zach Medell.
Makes me think of Fortnite because my son plays it all the time, and it's one of the dances they do.
Right.
I thought I got away from that for about 10 days, and here it is, haunting me.
In any kind of gym for a tournament, you know that you're going to be forced to listen to music that people of our vintage. Caldwell getting no deficit to 3.
Dang, those passes are hot when they come.
That was
game.
Yes, you think at some point you're going to get picked off here.
Or they're going to hit like a little too low and go bounce off someone's nose or chin, or
not exactly playing the percentages.
And I don't think between them they've got 8 fingers. They sure can catch the ball.
They can. Now.
Over and back. Caught at the line.
So that was a backcourt violation. Taking the ball over into the front court, into the opposition's half, and then taking it back as well, and perfectly positioned to see what had happened. So a crucial turnover goes in favor of the opposition, with plenty to think about.
like Rodriguez across the line, so they'll give him a penalty try.
And the lead is up to 5 at any point of this match. Medel immediately gets it back to 4, but Canada are going to want to try to ease sooner rather than later. Edmo and Nicholson are back on the 2 for Australia, so that means that if Riley Batt's still on, then Chris Bond has gone off as well. Andrew Edmondson works his way. Canada with it all to do. 3 minutes left in the third. Oh, that went through there. The grasp of Andrew Edmondson.
Fake pass there by Whitehead. Hit from behind that line.
Trying to push him back over in the way that they did Medel earlier.
Possession for Canada. Nearly intercepted pass. Close to the line for some possession, but they were able to convert it, and that they need that kind of thing if they're going to.
Edmondson propels it forward to his fellow New South Welshman, and Batt picks it up.
Again, trying to slow things down, Australia.
They are there in the key. Josh Nicholson just outside it. It's going to have to come out because it's 10 seconds maximum in the paint, as it were. Ooh.
So they'll call that a foul and give Whitehead the try. A lot of contact there.
A lot of contact, hence the... Can you feel it? Certainly can feel the contact out there. The fans can feel the tension.
Rid of it. That 12 seconds was over. Oh, off. It looks like Edmonton touched it and then touched it, so it's probably going to be... Oh no, they're going to say it's Canada's ball.
Then I think Medel gets... Yes, so there's 1-2, and then Medel comes and picks it up and calls a timeout.
Ah, yes. Australia's ball. I couldn't see that because the scores table over there.
So, a very timed timeout there. And the fact that he got to the ball as well, Medel, using his wheels.
Now Canada has to use a timeout. You only have 10 seconds to inbound that ball. And that he wasn't going to get it in. Didn't have a clean pass. No sense taking that chance when you got that timeout. Can't take him to the next game.
Exactly, you can't carry them over. So down to 1 timeout and Australia 2. But every possession crucial, every point crucial at the... And for Canada, it's get it to Medel. Medel, which he does, and scoots past Batt. The deficit's back. It was 5 at one point, it's now back to 3. Nicholson comes back for the inbound. Finds Edmondson, his fellow 2-pointer. Edmondson almost loses the ball. He's got to get the ball over the halfway. And it's going to be Nicholson who picks it up. Takes his time.
He's trying to get... He wants the ball in Batt's hands. Canada doing a nice job there. You got a guy that can't really get the ball out of his lap very well. You just want to make it really, really hard for him to get that ball. Force the timeout.
Australia down to their last timeout after this. Have a look at Edmondson almost losing the ball. That was...
Hirschfield got his hand in there, and then and you could see him wince.
Two-time All-Star Trevor Hirschfield, the co-captain. in 2014 when the World Championships were just down the road from here.
I think he was the player of the tournament in that tournament. He really was. He was the key to beating the U.S. and putting them in the
up to 4 points with barely over a minute to go. Canada need to score reasonably quick. Do here through Mike Whitehead.
Whitehead looking at that clock. Fouled. Now the question is, are they giving him a penalty try? It looked like they did.
The deficit's down to 3. Problem apologizes.
The problem with leaving 5 seconds on the clock, either one of these teams can score in 3 or 4.
In 3 or 4 seconds. Can if you give it to Riley Batt.
So if he gets some open court, Vejle could do 440. But
Shea Graham is keeping an eye on him, and now it's him on now. And
Whitehead very reliable, but not nearly as fast as.
And this is where you think, okay, they've got to score. The clock's good. Scoring's better. The countdown's going to start from the fans.
In favor of Canada. Vejle left. That seems like an eternity for a speed team.
Bound this to Riley Batt. He's going to send it forward.
Nice defense. Hirschfield across to Vejle with 3 seconds left, and Canada able to cross on the board. Again, one of those situations where you just have to protect the ball.
Not happy, but the Canadians will be delighted with that, and at the death there. Point game for a lot of this quarter, and then all of a sudden it's down to 2. Canada 38, Australia 40. Late pick-off and turnover. Riley Batt not happy with what happened there.
I try to score in that 10. The face of Whitehead, he's like, oh, gotcha. You want to try and score in that 10 seconds?
Century of growing together and knowing the next 100 can be even better.
Wow, wow, wow. What a finish for Team Canada in this third quarter. 0.1 second, they managed to score an extra point to get close. 2 points behind, so 40 for Australia, 38 points for Team Canada. Turnover, and this could all change. 8 minutes left in the last quarter. Alors c'est une super fin de troisième quart pour l'équipe canadienne. Alors ça a été intéressant d'aller chercher un point additionnel. Au rugby en fauteuil roulant, d'aller chercher ces points additionnels. Alors faire des revirements bien sûr, et lors de ce quatrième quart, on a des chances d'égaliser la marque et potentiellement aller en ronde supplémentaire. Alors 26 seconds left. 8 minutes of play to go. Maybe 1 or 2 turnover, and hopefully we can equal the eventually go in overtime. Let's back to the court and we'll see you after the game.
He is certainly reasonable.
I think it would have been an easier call to 30 seconds to go.
Yeah,
in that third
more
quarter.
time.
You've got Australia.
Usually wait till halfway through the fourth before information.
Well, a big turnover early doors for, and in favour of Australia, that is. Bat gets it forward to Bond. Game. Huge there. Canada needed that early score. It was an early turnover.
Morale. And gets heat over the top. Nice quick one. This one wasn't nearly as hard for Canada. They need more like that if they're going to tie this thing up, possibly get ahead.
Canada way through this match. They need to play absolutely faultless 7.5 minutes.
Isn't going to get them there, that's for sure.
Australia going high-low, and Bat out there, along with Emily Miller. 0.5. That obviously allows them to play 1.5 in total. Jake Howe can be out there as well. So Australia currently with 8.5 out there on the court.
So Canada had used their last timeout. I think that was their last timeout.
It is indeed.
Morale couldn't get across half, didn't have any place to go with it. Instead of, he used that timeout, saved them from that turnover.
Every possession counts. And as the final turnover, well, they'd like it to be the final turnover, Canada. But
in this game could come down to that timeout.
The fact that Australia have still got...
Yep.
They can take time off the clock.
It's an opportunity to keep the ball out of the hands of Canada's offense.
3-point deficit, 10 seconds on the shot clock. That's not going to bother Medell. Quick inbound. Ball's got to get over the halfway line.
Bond trying to create some space up top. Trouble getting across half, throws it over.
Oh, it's one of a number of passes where your heart's in your mouth.
And that was a long, long, long 12 seconds.
It was 11.95 on the shot clock, wasn't it? But that's exactly
Remember,
what
that shot clock isn't that count. So they can be different.
Those two guys with their game faces on there.
Holding Medell there in the corner.
Bat showing his speed, and then it's Bond and Medell. Bond's taking shepherding, for those of you who watch Aussie Rules. If you are... What is brief? If it's 5 p.m. here, it's 2 a.m. on the Australia. Points adrift. Need to get the ball into the hands of Medell, and how about that? Medell Moran, the M&Ms again. Cote happy with that. He knows they need plenty. Little 1-2, 1-2-3.
One turnover at a time. Medell able to stay in front of Bat.
That puts the brakes on, change. Still there.
Rodriguez has cast chair, but he got away. Now
See the shot clock.
running a play. That's what they were looking for.
Perfection really for Australia, isn't it? It was hard in the mouth stuff, but absolute perfection. Australia, they value of this this game. Oh, as we see
Bond slopped that away. Somehow Medell, that was just sheer persistence. Because Bat knocked that down, pick it up. Somehow Medell got back to it.
That was a turnover in all but name, and yet somehow Medell. It's a great little tagline. Somehow Medell. Somehow he's keep his team in the game thus far. Yet another
couple of big hits on that play. They're trying to make something happen without getting themselves in deeper. If you try and save yourself by just reaching, you cause penalties which allow the clock. So they're trying to do it with their chairs. The guy, as he's catching, as he's throwing, turn his chair. Oh, Morale in trouble. Well, but he's able to get rid of it before he went over that line.
That was incredible. Somehow look pass around the back.
A little bit of luck, a whole lot of training.
Australia sticking with the people who've got them there thus far, the two high pointers. We haven't seen any of the Sabblejack. Little of Andrew Edmondson, Josh Nicholson, Dickie Voris hardly. And that's because Canada have just refused to keep it going. Come on, says Riley Batt. So everybody, all eyes there. Now the ball could be fired out to Moran instead. Over the halfway line. It's the first tick in the box. Oh, that was a between Riley Batt and his fellow 3.5 pointer, but somehow Medell managed to get that.
Eventually, if they keep making passes like that, one of them is going to get away from them. And that was just, again,
as you could see, there was a sigh of relief from Zach Medell there. Timeout being called. It's the coach's time. The team timeouts not available. So this one called by Brad Doubley. Half quarter, it's a 2-point game.
well, I think this is, he wants to, trading goals here is fine. We're going to get this done. Turn as fast as possible and not give Canada the opportunity to make something happen offense by creating a turnover. And it's going to be a real problem.
Australia now going with Mika Fawcett. Plenty of experience between the two. From Bacchus Marsh down in Victoria, Mick Ozan from Caboolture in Queens. And then, of course, the two high pointers. Taking his time. Attempted lead. The co-captain.
Affectionately called T-Bone.
Medell still with that game face on. Against his team, back to within 2 points. Three and a half minute points in it. Needing a couple of turnovers.
Both final, right? They both have another opportunity, but you don't want to lose this game.
You've said that these, it could be a case of will.
Very well could be.
Yeah, at some point, not in the quarterfinals because they're in the same pool, but if they can get through to the final. Everything you can.
Canada dropping back in the key, which seems a little unusual considering that the clock is not on the...
No, time is not their friend. 3 minutes to go, 2 points adrift.
I'm sure there's a strategy involved.
The strategy was to stop bat. It did not work.
Always the strategy against Australia.
Yep. Fired up. Going to pick this one up and get it back to 2 points yet again.
Well, if they're going to keep scoring, drop into the key.
However, 158. No timeouts, quickly inbounded. 5 pointers is that you can have one to inbound, one to pick it up, and then the inbounder can just scoot up the other end of the court and get it back to a 3-point game.
And even a pass that's not perfect. Bond was able to reach back, slow down just a little bit, reach back and pull that thing out of the air. Really well done.
Just over 2 minutes to go for Canada. 3 points behind.
Keeping it within 2. But now is when... Oh, and there's the foul. Whitehead had his hand in there when he went for the ball. One that got caught, making the contact. See, Whitehead got his hands in there, tried to grab the ball. Riley actually should be a foul. But Medell clearly making contact here. Bat lifts up his arm to touch him.
So Zach on the sidelines, 4 on 3, and Australia are going to take all the shot clock to the left of your screen to run in a point, make it a 3-point game. Poor old Medell cooling his heels.
On that, with reaching to try and create a turnover in this situation, is that now you've got the clock, 40 seconds, that they can just burn. And when you only have, that's an eternity.
Final coach's timeout is called. Called by Patrick Coté.
Now Australia in the key, right? Now they're going to try and do the same thing. They're going to try and... They want this to end. And that's that grab I was talking about where he leaned back. Nice job there.
Flexibility from the captain, 36 years old.
Had a great match.
He's got that 211 now for Australia. 100 or so. Medell, can he weave some seconds to go? It's a great pass over the top. And, but it's not enough. Mike Whitehead getting that try.
And trading goals isn't going to give them where they need.
They need something special, and they need it right now.
Over the top bat. As long as you can make that possible, all Riley has to do is turn his chair enough that he can see where he needs to throw.
Left or right, and yeah.
He did that basically from the baseline.
Yep.
And got it all the way up.
Himself. A minute to go. Canada somehow need 3 to take it. Well, we've seen some towards the end of the quarters. We've seen a few. It's Medell to Whitehead is the way it's working at the moment. Goals isn't enough.
So Bond inbounding, so he's going to get anywhere.
Quarterback sacked in the end zone and a safety there. That would have been 2 points.
That was the best defensive stand we've seen from in the quarter, probably. Almost got to that point. Now with 35 seconds, they're going to start getting desperate. You're going to see some more reaching. Something happen here. Because without a turnover, this one's over. Another quick one for Vejle.
Performance from Zach Medell, 29 tries, 30. And there's 2 points in it. And
Blocked. And that'll be off of Canada. Australia will get another, but only 24 seconds. They need to get across half. That's all they need to do.
counted. So that's seconds off the clock. Forward there. And Riley Batt is going to make it.
Put Canada right back in it. 15 seconds.
Somehow you can hear the there. He lobs it over the top once again. It's going to end up being a 2-point game. Has been for much of this contest. Forward, it doesn't matter. Australia, absolutely epic battle, one-headed, but they were never win 55-53. But as you said, Dave, we are going to see of these teams throughout the week, and definitely maybe the semis, who knows, maybe even the final. What a match.
Team's trying to make a statement here. The first Team USA sitting right down watching this one, see what they've got coming up.
Player number 3 from Australia, Riley.
Riley won the player of the match and primarily on his defense. His defense was really just taking on anybody that came time, and there. He's had a heck of a career. I hope he sticks around time.
So first 55-53. Unfortunately, it's a loss in this first game, but a tough game. They had a great team, and they were after the half point of the. They had the advantage, Team Canada, in the third standing turnover from Trevor Hirschfield. Performance of the day. We will see those all week on social media, but our performance was from Trevor Hirschfield, and we will from them later on. Alors, une journée canadienne, c'est malheureusement une défaite par 2 points. 55-53. Il reste encore 4 préliminaires et l'objectif, c'est de terminer dans les 4 premières du pool B. Alors, on a encore d'excellentes atteindre les quarts de finale. We have an athlete with us in a few moments, Cody Calvin, zone to say how the game went and first game for Team Canada. Also, the Trevor Hirschfield with this outstanding turnover. The player of the day, there's a player of the day time around, went from the Australian team, Riley. He's number 3. He's probably the Michael.
And hopefully
We do between now and tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Lots of video or in. You faced Japan then when they won gold.
yeah, we've played them the same roster, not much change. So we inside out, they know us inside and out. The whole year coming in, especially since we knew our pool. It's just cool down, get stretched into us, and a good night's sleep. And, well, before 9 a.m., but be ready for tip-off at 9 a.m.
Cody, all the best and congratulations. We'll see you again. Alors Cody qui fait de... Go ahead, alors de son match.
First thing we climb a tree, maybe then we talk, or sit silently and listen to our thoughts. Someday, a golden light, as river soul is our life. One century, one century.
Here's to a century, and knowing the next 100 can be even.